Alright, welcome to the Bearded Nomad Van Life Relic Hunting. It's now looking official. It's gonna soon be X Van Life. From the looks of it, by November, I'm going to be living with my daughter and my grandsons, being roommates with my daughter to help her cover the rent of the house that she's renting as she's getting divorced. And I'm not going to get into the details of why or whatever. You know, it is what it is. They made their decision was made, and this is the route they're going. So it is what it is. She explained it to me. I completely understand. You know, I had a similar relationship that kind of ended for a lot of similar reasons. So I get it. I'll stand by her. And so I told her, I said, well, and asked about, well, what's the living situation going to be? And what she originally told me, I was like, oh, okay. Then she hit me up a couple days, like, I forget how, a couple days or a week or two, might have been a week. Couple days to a week, and she said, you serious about roommating? And I said, yeah. She's alright. And then I just heard from her the other day, and she said to me, well, how far, what would be your max commute to and from work that you would want? Because she knows where she's trying to get a job, get in at that's hiring. So she was like, how far do you want to commute? And I was like, I don't know. It's kind of got to play it by ear, I guess. And said, I'd like to be no more than a half an hour from work. She's like, all right, because she said where she's going to apply, where she's applying at, and hoping to get a job. And I said, oh, okay, cool. And she said, well, what about where I'm at now? And I said, well, yeah, that's within that range. Absolutely, I'm okay with that. And so it turns out he's not going to be staying at keeping the house that they rent. She is, her and the boys. So I'm going to move in with her and have my own bedroom. And I'll have a full kitchen at my disposal to make yumminess. I'm actually looking forward to that a bit more than I think I should. But I've missed being able to just get some stuff and cook certain meals. Certain things I just can't do in the van life. I haven't been able to do it since 2021. So there's certain meals that I just miss being able to do. And, it is what it is. What the? That is not a road. You went the wrong way. You might as well just came over the grass into this parking lot. There's signs down there that you should know better to drive up this way. Oh my God. But yeah, so gonna move in with my kid, and I gotta run my numbers and see how strapped I'm gonna be. till I can get this Jeep paid off and get the van emptied out of all my personal stuff, and then I can try to sell the van. So if I can sell the van and get enough for the van to be able to pay off the Jeep, that'll be perfect, because then that opens up and cuts out that monthly expense of the Jeep payment. And the full coverage insurance, I can drop that back to liability only. So that'll save me a good chunk. That'll be a good chunk of money every month that I'll have to go towards the rent and heating oil and for the hot water and the heat. Kind of wish the guy that bought it and remodeled it and rented it to rent as a rental, I really wish he would have put an electric hot water heater in instead of using the oil furnace, but it is what it is. So hopefully I'll be able to sell the van, because really come to find out, you know, when things happen, I always tend to look at it from the worst possible perspective. I used to be an optimistic fella back in the day, but too much life happened to me, and all my optimism flew away. Yeah, so as soon as the van acted up after coming back from Indiana last September, I really just thought the worst. You know, it's something major with the motor. It's up. You know, cost of a motor, I ain't got, what the hell, you know. I needed wheels, so buy here, pay here. But I got lucky, because this Jeep's actually was a really good deal. Fully remanufactured motor in it. Tons of external parts up under the hood. So I got a good deal. Even though yesterday I had to buy a steering wheel puller at Harbor Freight. Last week or paycheck or two ago, and I had the parts. I had to get an ignition switch and the ignition actuator, and I wasn't sure which one. I thought my problem was with the Jeep. I thought it would have been the ignition actuator. Turns out it was actually the ignition switch. And the new Dorman ignition actuator, even though I followed the instructions to the T, dotted the I's, it fell apart. It broke. I put it in and the key worked. Everything lit up. I'm like, okay, cool. Go to start it. Nothing. Tried again. Nothing. Went to try to turn the key and nothing at all. It wouldn't even turn. So I took everything back apart and pulled the actuator out, and it came out. The plastic thing on it, in the inside of it, that runs through the metal, totally came out in pieces in my hand. Brand new. Put it in as instructed. And it fell apart and broke into lots of pieces. So I put the original one back in, put it back together, and now it starts like a champ every time. The issue of rough starting or not wanting to start. Starts to start, but then stops. You know, I was thinking a lot of people, if you have a Jeep, you know, you go online and everybody, oh yeah, if you have this issue, that's your fuel pressures. Your fuel's draining back into the line. You're losing fuel pressure. So now when you go to start it, you know, you gotta wait for the fuel pump to prime the line. And well, it wasn't that, because now it starts up every time. First time, real quick, boom. Even sat overnight last night, got in it today. Usually I'd have to cycle the key a couple times, hoping it'll, you know, thinking that'll fix that issue. It starts first time. So did that yesterday. Of course, my back My back killed me last night and this morning, and still now today, for doing all that work on the Jeep. It definitely is making me pay for it. The pain is 20 times more than what it normally would be on an average day. And I ate so much ibuprofen, even took a swig of Johnny Bootlegger's peach alcohol. Hoping, because I found that a swig of that with some ibuprofen actually tends to make the ibuprofen work a little better. Not supposed to be drinking alcohol because I'm on blood thinners, I know, blah, blah, blah. But it helps ease the pain a little, and it's just a swig. Not like I'm drinking the whole damn bottle or nothing, just it's a little bottle to begin with. Just a swig. A quick mouthful, that's it, That's all I touch. Like one swig a day. Maybe, or sometimes at most two. It'll be one in the morning when I take the ibuprofen, and then one at night when I take the ibuprofen before I go to bed. The 2 swigs a day keeps the doctor away. Not the pain. Well, it helps with the pain. Keeps the doctor away and keeps the pain at bay. But yeah, so gonna be moving in with my kid. And since the van, I did find out, because after it acted up, like I said, I'm not optimistic anymore. I guess you could call that a pessimist. And right away I think of the worst. So got the Jeep because I thought of the worst. I got the Jeep, so I had wheels, and every now and then I start the van. It runs and idles. It sits there and idles fine. No roughness, no nothing, no issues. I put it in gear. I moved it around the parking lot at work a couple times. It seems fine. Running fine, driving fine. And then the one night I started it up just to let it charge the van battery for the up under the hood. Back during the winter time, because it was cold, I didn't want the battery going dead, so I started the van periodically to charge the battery, run some fuel through it, keep everything ready to rock and roll. Don't want to let the fuel gum up and turn to acetone or anything, or varnish. So run it that way, it keeps everything flowing. And for shits and giggles, I hooked up my scanning tool, my little scanner tool, and I got a code. I'm like, that's a new one, I never saw that before. And I looked it up, and it's for O2 sensor. I think it was downstream bank 2, and I ended up researching if that code for an O2 sensor would cause the engine to go into limp mode, and it told me absolutely it will, because it's protecting the motor, because it thinks that the fuel air mixture is too far off, that if it kept running normal it would destroy the engine. So the limp mode was actually because it was thinking, the reading it's doing that to protect the engine. The fact that I could turn it off and turn it back on and then it would drive fine for a while, I should have known before that potentially that would have been an issue. That was an issue, that it wasn't as bad as I thought. But with all the money I had spent on that thing in the last couple years, especially the biggest chunk, the big chunk over $5,000, plus the AC unit in the roof, that was another $3,000. I had dumped, between parts and the AC setup for the living part, living in the back of the van, all together, that was like total, that was damn near pushing $10,000-$11,000. And I was just at my end because I was out of money. and I had no more money to throw at this thing. And I really thought that everything I did was going to make that it would be fine. And so when it wasn't, I freaked out and went and got this Jeep. But now to find out that it's just probably the O2 sensors. They probably are. If they're not original, they've probably only been replaced once in the life. Because I bought the van with 140 some thousand miles. It's got 220 something on it now. So I haven't replaced them. Chances are if they were replaced, there's a good possibility they were never replaced. Those could be the original O2 sensors from 2008. Very easily. And if that's the case, and I have a new ECM, it's got a new ECM in it. It's got all new suspension, leaf springs, coil springs, shocks, all the steering component, the whole front end. It had a full rebuild kit of all new components up front for the steering and all that. Has brand new tires on it that only got like 20,000 miles on them. Because I put those on after I did all the suspension work and everything. Upper lower ball joints. I mean, all that stuff. It's all been done. And then all the stuff I did to on the exterior of the motor prior to that. The only thing that hasn't been done was the O2 sensors, the EGR valve, maybe a purge valve, and maybe if it has a crankcase, crank position sensor. I didn't do any of that. So other than, it's like there's only a few things left on the exterior of that motor that hasn't been replaced. And the motor runs good. It's a strong V8, 4.6 liter V8. It is what it is, and as much as I would love to just put O2 sensors on it and keep the van, I'm not. The only reason I'm not going to is because when I got the registration in the mail for it, they upped it and it's now $214 a year. And when I paid last year, I think it was 170 something. And when I got that plate on the very first pickup truck that plate went on, back then for a 3/4 ton pickup, on that pickup, I think it was only $70 some a year in 2012. So since 2012, we've gone from $70 some to 214 for a PA registration for a 3/4 ton vehicle. For me personally, no. That was the fact that the van, and I made this determination before I found out about ended up doing some research and found out that it's just the O2 sensors. I got my confirmation on that after I decided to not pay the registration, let the tag, just let it go. And then I didn't get it inspected because that was earlier. I didn't feel like I could drive it. So, and if I wasn't going to have registration for it, I couldn't get it inspected. So, those two went hand in hand, and it's just, but yet it'll easily, inspection won't, somebody put O2 sensors in it, it'll be run like a top, and it'll pass inspection because everything else on it, all that stuff for inspection is A-OK, new, it wouldn't need anything. So I'm hoping I'll be able to sell it for a decent enough price to, when I do sell it, that I'll be able to pay off the Jeep. That way it alleviates that monthly expense. Makes it a little easier for me to swing being a roommate with my kid and helping her out with the bills so that her and the boys, keep a roof over their head. But that's what I gotta do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it because it's my job as a dad. And I know I don't got a lot of time left on this earth, so with what time I do have left, I'm going to do what I gotta do to make sure that my kid has a roof over her head and those boys have a roof. And that's my final chapter in life. Job is to make sure that she's okay with, because when I go, she's got some money coming to her. It'll be more than enough to help her go for a little while, find some other, find something else, somewhere else to live, but she'll have some money coming to her, so she won't be homeless, be thrown out on the street after I die, not right away. But yeah, it's what I gotta do. It's my job, and it benefits us both, and then that way I get to see her. So I get to see her and the grandsons more. It helps her out with me helping to pay half the rent. It helps me out by I get to live in a regular situation where I can stand up getting out of bed instead of hunched over, and make that kill my back even more right off the get-go every morning when I wake up. Yeah, so all in all, it's just, there's a face. Check this out. Forehead, eyes, nose, mouth, and his chin is getting pointier. His beard's pointed up. Oh, he's got a booger coming out of his nose now. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now it looks like a duck. Ah, it's a duck's head. Whack, whack. Ducky, ducky, ducky. Sorry, my ADHD just kicked in there. My ADD. Sorry. Yeah. So, yeah. Van life is officially, I guess I can officially say it's officially over. But yep. So hopefully I can get the van sold after I get all my stuff out of it and get moved into the house. And then I'd like some of the solar stuff and and battery wise. I have a brand new, the lithium battery, the house battery that's in it now is like 2 years. Yeah, 2 years old. I have a brand new one sitting in storage that I could either put the brand new one in and take the other one out. Possibly the big battery bank that I put in for the AC. I did what I did for how I was planning on using it. I may take some of that battery bank out, because technically speaking, it could be run on less if somebody was only using it for at night when they're sleeping, and then turn it off in the morning, and then the charger for it would be able the blue smart charger that I have hooked up. Between that and solar, if they were hooked up to shore power, the two would charge the battery bank back up. Even the solar by itself would charge the battery bank back up till the next night when they go to turn it on. So I'll probably take a few things out like that, only because I can utilize it at for the garage, so that I don't run up electric bill doing stuff out in the garage. Plus, I've just been so accustomed to charging stuff off of 12 volt that I might keep a little bit, but if somebody wanted me to leave everything in the van the way it is, that'll come with one price. I think I'll have to come up. I'm gonna have to come up with two prices. One's gonna be I leave everything in it the way it is. I just take all my personal stuff out, and they get the van just the way it is. Or I remove some stuff, and then that price will be down a little bit more. But if somebody's willing to give me the price to keep everything in place, that price will be enough to make sure I can pay off the Jeep. The price minus a few items, but yet the van will still be livable in if they wanted to live in it or use it for camping and whatnot. That would still be doable. Yeah, so I'll see what happens. I'll have to crunch numbers and come up with some numbers. But yep, so van life is officially going to be over, and hopefully the not being hunched over and cramped into the small space, hopefully my body will give me some blessings and stop tormenting me so damn much with pain. One can hope. I say a prayer. I've been praying a lot lately, and there's a song I listened to, and it says, "Can you help me?" And I realized, can he help me? Yes. But the question now that I have is, will he help me? Because I've prayed, and I've asked a lot of times, and I don't seem to be getting any answers of, things happening. So it makes me wonder. The song says, "Can you help me?" But I think it should be more like, "Will you help me?" But that's just, I have my faith, so I just sometimes question it. I know we're not supposed to, but I've tried to do things by the book before. I've had times in my life where I've ignored the book and I've done it my own way and tried it that way, and that didn't work either. So yeah, kind of like, 6 one, half dozen the other. Same outcome. So I have my faith, but for me, it brings questions. So, and I can't help but ask questions and question it, because I still have my faith, but I'm going to question certain things because it just doesn't add up. At least not in my mind. So, but maybe it's because I believe in crystals, the healing power of crystals, because I still wear I started wearing my golden healer again, thinking, when I wore that all the time, I was feeling good, and then I stopped wearing it, and then, yeah. So I started wearing the golden healer again, thinking maybe that'll help, and a little bit, but not much. So I don't know. Just makes me, everything in life makes me question things. So, but that's the way that is. So, yep. For now, I guess until later, I will say thank you for watching, and sorry if I bored you. If you made it this far to the end, I applaud you, because most people, I guess, don't. I don't write a script and read from a script, so I tend to go back and forth with things, and that's just the way it is. raw and unedited. That's how I roll. Always have, always will, and it kept me from getting monetized between that and having a girlfriend at one point. Probably would have been able to get monetized, but then I went and got a girlfriend for a bit there and thought I had the love of my life, and my happiness made 2,000 women just unsubscribe. Really not sure how that happens, but okay. So I guess since I'm gonna be ex-van life, out of the, I guess I got like 2,000 subscribers. Last time I checked, I think I got 2,000, around 2K left. So I guess if half of you want to unsubscribe now because I'm no longer going to be living in a van, so be it. Have a nice life. Catch you later, maybe. See you around sometime, maybe. But yeah, I gotta do what I gotta do for my kid and my grandsons and for myself. And living in a van, that's, can't afford a big high top, high roof, luxurious. I don't got sponsors. I'm not monetized with sponsors that I can, go buy a brand new Mercedes van and have a professional build done by 2 or 3 different builders, and for different stuff. I can't afford that. That's not where I'm at. So, yeah. So if anybody wants to unsubscribe because I'm no longer going to be van life, don't worry. I won't hold it against you. So if you do decide to leave, thanks for your time here. And if you stay for the metal detecting content, hopefully my body will stop beating me up so bad and torturing me with pain, and maybe I'll be able to get back to getting some more metal and get more metal detecting videos out. That would be nice, but not sure how much gas money I'll have for constant driving out and around to go places to metal detect. That'll be TBD after I run the numbers and see bill wise and all that, how that plays out. I may be just back and forth to work and sitting at home metal detecting in a little backyard, which I was planning on wanting to do anyway. So I'll be able to metal detect that backyard because that end of town's kind of old. So who knows what I might find in the backyard. But yeah. So if you stick around and stay subscribed, thank you. If not, it's been a pleasure having you around for a while. Unfortunately, life, medical health, and body health, this van life could not continue for me. So, whether you stay or don't, hopefully I'll catch you on the other side. And, yeah. Keep fighting the good fight.